shooting from a local Starbucks, probably somewhere near you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the time that you're taking out to watch this video. What are the typical problems that my adult students have? Could you guess? Right? Okay, what problem do you have? I would say that the number one problem I usually come across is lack of confidence. Maybe they grew up in an academic environment where they were typically told that they were not good enough yet. All right, so all these specific incidents from the past, it actually affects how we think about ourselves in the present. So it's probably an issue that we've brought with us, and now it's kind of keeping us in a holding pattern. So it causes us anxiety. It causes us really opportunities to move on, because there are just so many situations or circumstances at work that we should present ourselves, give opinions, be able to speak up, and we hold ourselves back because in our mind we are kind of frozen, trapped in a holding pattern that tells us that we don't really know what to say, we don't know if what we're saying is right. So it's actually a combination, not just of your language abilities, but also the lack of training, the lack of exposure. If you want to be confident in English, where do you think confidence comes from? A lot of people think confidence is about self-esteem, but it's actually a different issue altogether. Self-esteem is the way you talk to yourself, okay? It's that little voice in your head. Self-confidence, it's usually intertwined, so when we do our lessons, I'll probably have to separate out for you which issues are actually self-esteem issues and which issues are self-confidence issues. When it comes to, say, go jump into the deep end of the pool, or now go ride this bicycle without training wheels, you're not going to have the confidence to do that. Why? Because you've not had any evidence that you are able to do it. So how do you overcome that? How do you typically learn how to swim, or how do you typically learn how to ride a bicycle or skateboard? You typically have to start off in an environment where it is safe enough to fail. Okay, so to train yourself up until your brain gets evidence that you can do it. You can hold a conversation in English, you can express your opinion in English, you can ask questions, you can speak intelligently, and then your brain starts collecting evidence. The more your brain has evidence that you can do something, the more natural it becomes for you, and you have that confidence to be able to speak to someone, to be able to engage with someone, to have very enjoyable conversations with them. Apart from having evidence that you're good, it also has to do with your personality. Together with the language comes culture, and because we're Asians, we're typically not we were raised in such a way where we do not expect ourselves. Sorry about that. So we are, in general, as Asians, we're not that open in terms of our culture and our personality. So we have a lot of adat culture, rules, norms that kind of holds us back and tells us to be careful about what we say. Kinds of cultural training, cultural beliefs that comes with our mother tongue, okay, and comes with our culture and our upbringing. It holds us back from being able to be open. But when we get to a professional working environment, it is typically a very Western culture where you are expected to speak up, you're expected to collaborate, you're expected to share, be honest, and move at the speed of trust. So if you cannot trust yourself, or you cannot trust somebody to say, hey, I need to get clear about what you mean, or if you don't trust somebody enough to confront them with something that you are not clear about, then you are going to hesitate. And if you don't believe me, hesitation is painful. If you stack all your motivations together, you stack all your intentions together, and you just go ahead and you just speak, you just go, then there is a kind of energy in this kind of momentum of velocity, and you just speak. But if you're over there and you're thinking, should I say that? Should I ask that person? Is it right? Would I be offending them? If you're having all these kinds of doubts about yourself, it is going to impact your confidence. Okay. Number one, get some practice. Okay. Be in a safe environment and have a model, an example of what confidence looks like. Having a safe environment where you can practice being the best version of yourself, and then you aim for the next, version of yourself, and then be that best version of that self, and so on and so forth, and you iterate, and your brain starts getting a lot of evidence that hey, you're actually quite good. Throw yourself into the pool, you can now swim because you've already done wading in the shallow end of the pool, so you can actually now swim in the deep end. And second thing is being more comfortable with being open in terms of your personality. We came from a culture and upbringing where we were not expected to be open. I'll talk about public speaking in my next video, so give me a message. Okay, bye.